Alright guys, welcome back to this learning module. Today we're going to talk about another approach to improve our ETL load speed, which is called as the incremental load. Okay, so this is a sharing on how important it is to apply the incremental load in our ETL layer. And as we can see here, this is actually the current situation that is happening in my client ETL layer. Alright, so it actually takes 4.5 hours to only extract the data from our database. Alright, next we do the transformations, which will take another 1.5 hours. Lastly, going to the data model, it takes another 40 minutes to complete the data model execution, right? So in total, it actually takes about 6 hours and 40 minutes to complete the ETL layer. So why is it important for us to reduce the execution time, right? So imagine when there is a breakdown happen in our database and the data is not extracted completely by our ETL layers, we will actually require some time to perform some debugging, what is happening and what is the error from our database. And this will take about 3 hours, for example. Next, we run the ETL layer, which will consume another 7 hours, and the total time for us to recover when there's a breakdown happens, it took 1 complete working days, right? So imagine if you walk into a restaurant and you have ordered your meal, right? But unfortunately, after waiting for 30 minutes, you check with the waitress and they said the order is not captured in their system. So of course, as a customer, we get furious, but we will still give the restaurant a chance to redeem the current situations, right? So after ordering your food, waited for 30 minutes, the food is still not at our table, and if we still have to wait for an hour for the food to arrive, that will actually piss us off, right? So this is the same thing applies to every organizations. When there's breakdown happens, they are actually expecting us to recover as soon as possible, right? So this is how important it is. And I'm going to break it down to you. Why do we have such a long ETL execution time, right? Now here is the why. What happened is the ETL layer is actually extracting all the information from our database and push into qliksense formats, right? So if we can see here, if we are currently at week 1, we are extracting 1000 of records, extract into qliksense format, and starting the next week, we are still extracting week 1 data again together with week 2 numbers, right? So basically, if we add week 1 and week 2, that will be an hour to be extracted into qliksense format. Coming into week 3, the execution time is getting more and more staggered, and it will be more and more longer for the extraction to complete, right? So how can we improve this execution time here? All right. So here comes incremental load. Okay. So what we're going to do here is in week 1, we will only extract week 1 numbers, store it into the base QVD. All right. And coming into week 2, we are not going to re-extract week 1 numbers again because we already have the base QVD in our Qlik server, right? So what we're going to do is we are going to only extract week 2 numbers. That will only takes about half an hour and concatenate it together with the base QVD here, right? Coming to week 3, if we expect there's an increase in numbers of records, it doesn't matter, right? Because it will only increase for about 10 minutes of execution time, and we concatenate into our base QVD, right? So if we do this, the estimated result can optimize our execution time by 70%, right? So this is really a game changer whereby we are able to recover in just an hour, right? So with this here, we are able to maintain a very healthy relationship with our stakeholders, because if there's really something urgent for the stakeholders to consume data from our dashboard, they would really appreciate what we have done here to recover as soon as possible for them to resume their operational routine, right? So yeah, that's all about the concept of incremental load, and I can't wait to see you in the next module. Thanks and bye bye.